All right, here we go. Welcome into the show. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles now. My name is Chase Sr. Thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day as we talk about the birds every single day right here on Eagles Now. Coming up on the show, I want to go through a series of things that Eagles fans should find very interesting going into the 2025 season, and one topic has to do with what they did during the NFL offseason. I do want to begin here, though, and I want to hear from you. Before I have asked this question, who is your favorite Eagle of all time? But I'm going to challenge you a little bit. This is a loaded Eagles roster that just won the Super Bowl, and there are a lot of likable players on this Eagles team. So who is your favorite current Eagles player? Drop me a name down in the comment section right now. And let's start off with this. Topic number one. We may have found out from an NFL insider who used to cover the Eagles and still does on a YouTube channel why the Philadelphia Eagles let Darius Slay walk in free agency. Big play Slay was a huge acquisition via trade with the Detroit Lions a few years ago by general manager Howie Roseman. And he was then one of the top corners in the game. He continued to be one of the top shutdown corners in the game. And after a 2023 season that was disappointing, I thought he rebounded very well in 2024. But he won a Super Bowl, made it 2 Super Bowl appearances with Philadelphia, and to round out his career, because he said he wanted to play one more year, he signed and inked a one-year, $10 million contract across the state with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And going back to how Slay fared in 2024, I thought he was very solid, given his age, and how he bounced back off of a down year in 2023, which was also impacted by a knee injury and a knee surgery. During the regular season, Slay was not his prime self that we saw in 2022, for instance, when he was an All-Pro, but he was very good. An overall PFF grade of 67.6, a coverage grade of 68.9. But then once the playoffs came around, he upped his game. Overall grade in the postseason of 77.1, a coverage grade in the playoffs of 78.9. Very good grades right there. And during the regular season, you can look at his pick numbers or his coverage grade, or you can point out the eye test, which I thought he passed with flying colors. He had 12 pass breakups. That was fourth among all corners in the game. And that's one thing that Slay has always done well, partially why his nickname is Big Plays Slay. Makes big plays, makes plays on the football, and he was able to do that from start to finish during the 2024 campaign. He also brings a lot to this organization, or at least brought, past tense, not current, a lot of leadership to this team that the Eagles are definitely going to miss. But the reason why the Eagles may have let him walk is because of that nagging knee injury. And I thought at that price tag, 1 year, $10 million, Eagles could have afforded him on that deal. They could have brought him back if they wanted to, but why didn't they? Here's what Adam Caplan, NFL Insider, had to say. Used to be on ESPN, really used to be on that Eagles beat, still has an Eagles YouTube channel. He said, as I'm told, one of his knees is a concern. He actually had arthroscopic surgery on it late in 2023. You have to wonder how well he can run. And the Eagles learned this with James Bradberry, who they cut, who signed a big extension 2 years ago. You never know when a guy's going to lose it, and they could lose it in an instant. The Steelers know this. And this might have to do with the reasons behind why the Steelers made that Jalen Ramsey trade and have a bunch of players at that cornerback position. Big play Slay, Joey Porter Jr., Beanie Bishop, Jalen Ramsey. I think that Slay is going to be all right. I think he's a good addition for Pittsburgh. But at his age, you really never know when these players are just going to lose it. And if Slay were to lose speed, if he were to have a drop-off and the Eagles would have brought him back, it could have hindered this Eagles defense. And so the Eagles elected to go cheaper, younger, hopefully more athletic and faster, with Kelee Ringo on the outside alongside Quinyon Mitchell with Cooper DeJean in the slot. So seems to be the reason why the Eagles did not retain Darius Slay, and the Steelers seem to know that it was a little bit of a risk, even though they gave him $10 million on that one-year deal. Topic number two, Jalen Carter has been rated the third best defensive tackle in the NFL. ESPN doing its annual poll where they reach out to NFL coaches, executives, and scouts, and they basically come to the mean average of how those people grade these players, and Jalen Carter checked in as the third best defensive tackle in the NFL heading into 2025. And this is quite the list to be a part of, considering Carter's age. Dexter Lawrence, dominant nose tackle, and he's a fabulous player. Chris Jones has been one of the top defensive tackles for a long time. He checks in at number 2. Jalen Carter at number 3, ahead of Jeffrey Simmons and Quinnen Williams. Jalen Carter last year, going into 2024, was an honorable mention. Now, it's pretty telling. He's at number 3 on this list. And here's what the ESPN write-up had to say about JC. A year ago, evaluators around the league projected big things for Carter, who had already shown a knack for beating top-shelf offensive guards at the line. He validated that faith with all-pro second-team honors, a Pro Bowl nod, and a Super Bowl championship. His 4.5 sacks and 8.8% pass rush win rate are not gaudy, but he's the classic need-to-see-him-in-person player. He's as disruptive as they come. The only thing keeping him out of the top 2 is experience, and I totally agree with that. Young player with elite tools, elite instincts, and game-changing playability, a veteran NFL coach said. I think the best is yet to come from him if he can keep his life in order. He has Hall of Fame type of ability and instincts. Now, obviously, in the pre-draft at Georgia, there were some off-the-field concerns because of the legal issues that he ran into. Everybody raves about the player who he's been so far. The life in order line, a common refrain for Carter, who had several off-field incidents leading into the 2023 draft. But Carter has no known issues through 2 NFL seasons and has been dependable on the field for Philadelphia, playing nearly 800 snaps last year. He registered 6 batted passes, ranking second on that list, an area for Carter to improve, consistently winning his one-on-one matchups. And there were times last year where you were like, where is Jalen Carter? There were other times where you just saw his ability to take over the game by himself. And I also think that the lack of production numbers, given that he was under 5 sacks, sometimes it has to do with him being double-teamed all the time. And that's a stat that goes beyond the box score. His impact goes far beyond the box score because of how much attention he demands. I also want to point out these numbers. The 830 snaps he played, 5th in the NFL at defensive tackle. He was also 9th in hurries with 36. He was 8th in hits with 12. He was 9th in pressures with 53. He was 2nd in batted passes with 6. The sky is the limit for Jalen Carter, and I think that he could go down if he stays on the right road, if he stays healthy, as one of the best Eagles defenders in the history of football, and even better if he's a Hall of Fame type of player. Before we get to our sponsor, our wonderful friends at Chubbies, don't forget to hit that subscribe button here for the best, most elite Eagles coverage year-round, every single day, right here on YouTube. Lock us in and join the movement. As for our sponsor, shout out to our friends at Chubbies. I'm wearing some Chubbies shorts right now, the ones that you see here to my right. Don't miss this deal. 20% off when you use the code CHAT at chubbiesshorts.com/chat. Chubbies has comfy, casual, built-for-life clothing items. I really enjoy wearing their original stretch shorts. They can live on your legs. They're also available in a couple of different sizes and looks. Available in long, short, and waist short. They come with a relaxed fit, elastic waistband, no fuss design. You can also pair these shorts with the Chubbies Performance Polo, and you're good to go. For a brunch, a backyard party, going to a golf outing, you want to hit the bars, you want to take a lovely lady or a loved one, significant other out on a date, you'll look pristine in some Chubbies clothing. And also, if you're going by a pool, lake, beach, classic line swim trunks are great. Whether you're suiting up for cannonballs, cookouts, or casual Fridays, Chubbies has you covered. And for a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners 20% off your order when you use our code CHAT at chubbiesshorts.com/chat. That's code CHAT using that link down below. Support our show. Let them know that we sent you. Summer is here. Dress like it in Chubbies. So ESPN, again, going through all of these rankings in the lead up to the 2025 season. And Bill Barnwell, NFL analyst for ESPN, dropped this article ranking the best skill position groups in the NFL. Wide receiver, tight end, and running back groups on the offensive side of the football. Philadelphia Eagles coming in at number 1, just barely topping the Detroit Lions. They have a lot of talented players on that offense. We'll see how they fare without offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. The Cincinnati Bengals, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, of course, throwing them the rock. The San Francisco 49ers, they need some health on their side, but when healthy, they're a dynamite offense. And then the Los Angeles Rams checking in there at number 5. The Eagles in 2024, with their skill position group, were number 2. In 2023, they were number 3. Now, after a Super Bowl championship, they're going into 2025 as the number 1 unit. Just a couple of things that Bill Barnwell had to say. After years of top 10 finishes, the Eagles did just enough to earn the top spot. Their big addition last offseason, the key difference maker in Saquon Barkley, he stayed healthy, and he certainly benefited from playing next to Jalen Hurts and behind a great offensive line. Very well put there. He produced one of the greatest seasons by any back in NFL history, topping 2,000 yards, and led the league in just about every advanced metric for a running back, and added 278 receiving yards and 2 scores. This is pretty nuts. The tush-push cost Barkley a shot at another handful of short yardage rushing touchdowns, but he had a truly special campaign. There just aren't many other backs in the league, with Christian McCaffrey, perhaps Derrick Henry aside, who have a path to that sort of upside. While the Eagles throw the ball less often than just about any other team, their receivers spectacularly efficient. Get this, A.J. Brown's 3.3 yards per route run ranked second best in the league, with the 28-year-old leading all players in the receiving score. He missed 3 games because of injury, sat out a meaningless Week 18 game, played on a team that leaned heavily and successfully into the run, so he ran only 323 routes, less than half of Jamar Chase's total of 680 in Cincinnati, yet AJ was still an all-pro, and he's still, despite missing time and running fewer routes to that certain degree, had more than 1,000 receiving yards. Isn't that nuts? Devontae Smith wasn't far behind. He ranked 14th in yards per route run and 8th in receiver score. Like Brown, Smith was limited to 13 games and 350 routes, but he still averaged more yards per route than C.D. Lamb and Malik Neighbors. So many casuals, ladies and gentlemen, want to say, oh, Jalen Hurts is carried, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, they're not that good. Context is always important here, especially with some of this data. While Dallas Goedert's receiving yardage total dropped for the 3rd straight year, that's more of a product of injuries in the team's passing volume than his ineffectiveness. He commanded about the same target share, 25.7% per route, as Jonnu Smith. And Goddard's 2.5 yards per route run, the second best mark among tight ends, who ran 200 routes or more. The Eagles are like an analytical darling when you go through some of these numbers. Jahan Dotson was proof that it's not easy to just rack up yards per route in this offense, as the preseason addition ranked 110th among wideouts by that metric. Running back Will Shipley and wideout Johnny Wilson are unproven. Tight end Grant Calcaterra, far less efficient than Goddard across 256 routes. If you prefer the Lions or Bengals to what the Eagles can offer, I wouldn't take much issue, Bill Barnwell said. This is a narrow race at the top. I'm taking this Eagles offense all day, every day. And people will say, Jalen Hurts, he's not a good passer. Jalen Hurts is a good passer. He's also a very efficient passer. And I've always said this, like, if you have this offensive line and you have Saquon Barkley, why would you just decide to go away from those strengths, to just chuck it around the yard, just to pad stats? Jalen Hurts, when asked to throw, one of the top most elite quarterbacks in the NFL, and I will take this skill position group over any in the NFL, because this group is built to beat any type of team. They can win in any type of weather, and I think that their style of play translates the best among these skill position groups. Don't forget to give me a follow on X and Instagram at Chase_Senior. I'm always talking Eagles here. I'm always talking Birds over there as well.